the mighty change of heart. You have what it takes to change the world because you have what it takes to change your world. You have the power of agency to act and not just be acted upon. It's time we learn to use it. Let's finally understand the purpose of power, why we have it, and how it is best used. Power exists for acting and to make action. Without it, nothing happens. Action is what creates and moves intentions into realities. It is the vehicle of creative movement. We are endowed with agency as sentient beings and therefore intrinsic power to be creative. Our creative potential is profound. Because our creative potential is so profound, so is our duty to be responsible and accountable with our creativity. What we create has impact and implication and intertwines with everyone and everything else in existence to some degree. This makes us inherently and by design influential through our creative expressions. It behooves us to become attentive and intentional and even masterful in the use of our creativity. What we create is both making an impact and contribution to the world at large and is teaching us about our ability to influence and affect change. We learn many things as we apply ourselves to creating, and we find that doing so causes alignment with our intentions and the creative intentions of others. Our creative uniting with others combines strength, just as the tributaries of a river forming together gathers greater energetic presence as they act in unison. Let us consider then the values that direct our intentions and how we use our creative power as the single most important thing in our lives, because everything we do and every cause we set in motion or act upon will either align and support those values or undermine and destroy our values. The greatest, most impactful clarity of understanding we then can possess is a clear and concise understanding of what we truly value. The greatest wisdom we can learn is how to use our agency to create what we hold as our core values in a way that is responsibly constructive and accountably not destructive to ourselves or others. The greatest governing influence for the focus of intention that accomplishes this is charitable love. This can exist in the form of persuasion, by long-suffering, by gentleness and meekness, and by love unfeigned, by kindness and pure knowledge, which shall greatly enlarge the soul without hypocrisy and without guile. Also by gratitude, compassion, empathy, forgiveness, patience, virtue, and faithfulness, to name a few of love's forms. Let's look at one of the most widely misunderstood of these forms, meekness, and clarify what it really means. Meekness is sometimes thought of as being overly submissive or compliant, even spiritless. It may even appear to be so if you fail to understand what it really is, because meekness most precisely is power under control. It is the personal ownership of agency and thereby possession of one's own power to direct your creative expression. It is the exercise of your own authority over your own actions and requiring of yourself that your own actions are dictated only by yourself in alignment with your core values. Rightly understood, meekness is personally empowering. Without meekness, one is vulnerable to the influence of others and of acting in ways that are not in alignment with one's core values. Understanding and practicing the skill of meekness could alone transform the world today. Imagine how much misdirected creative energy is chaotically undirected or unduly directed to destructive focus by people who are not taking ownership of or accountably and responsibly directing their actions through love-based intentional channels. Imagine what the collective impact would be if these people learned to do so. Not only would they find a greater sense of personal power and personal peace in their now chaotic life, but the same chaotic energy would be put to constructive application, making a positive contribution instead. Pointing out these attitudes is a description of a prevalent social condition, not a personal indictment. Personal freedom and synergistic unity of creative power, for which all human souls yearn, are and will be the result of individuals developing the skills of love in all its forms of expression. The only reason we have social, political, and economic and other calamity is because we, the individuals of societies, governing authorities, and financial directors, fail to develop these skills and adapt our rules to reflect and align with and support and encourage this core skill development. To do this, let me offer these very relevant suggestions from one of my favorite fathers, Alma, who gave this counsel to his son. Use boldness, but not overbearance. And also see that ye bridle all your passions, that ye may be filled with love. And see that ye refrain from idleness. I specifically like the analogy of a bridle as it relates to directing our passions. This leads me to understand that our passions are to be expressed, but that expression is to be thoughtfully directed. Let us debunk the myth that authority is power. Authority is the right to lay claim to act on someone else's behalf. It is how one person may delegate the use of their creative energy to another person. Inherent with this delegation is the conveyance of the original intention or intentions that the originator wants accomplished by the agent they commission. The actions of the commissioned agent are accountable to the one who commissioned them to act in their behalf. Authority is therefore a transference of intentions with an endorsement to allow an authorized agent to execute actions to accomplish those intentions for the intention holder. Authority is therefore only truly empowered to the degree that the actions of the agent, in fact, are suitable in accomplishing the original intentions of the delegating authorizer. In this regard, authority is only a conditional privilege based on compliance with a delegated purposeful goal. Therefore, authority in every case requires an accountability to an authorizing power. The power remains attached to the intention holder. Intention holders, and not necessarily authorities, are the powers that be. Everyone has an equal endowment to be an intention holder, simply by choosing an intention to hold and acting on it. Every sentient, self-aware being has the endowment. We may engage this creative process with full, partial, or no actual conscious awareness that we are even doing it. The challenge with authority is that it can become unaccountable, irresponsible, unaware, and misaligned with the intentions of the intention holder. Authority must always defer to the governing intention for which it exists. When misalignment happens, it immediately becomes not right, or in religious terms, unrighteous, because it is out of alignment with the reason for its existence. Power gives us opportunity to learn. Power finds its best and highest application as it facilitates our learning. Without power, we do not learn, and our self-awareness and sentience is wasted. Using power makes events in our lives and the lives of others meaningful to us because we took part in creating things of value and positive outcomes. This is an irrepressible reward. While it may be delayed for a season, it cannot be ignored indefinitely. Once an intention is fulfilled, its existence is felt because it is now real. It has a unique presence. This presence produces an effect and a consequence. This effect and consequence, in turn, show us how closely our actions produce the outcomes we intended. This is how we learn. Power is part of our learning ability. Its function is to teach us how to produce what we intend to create. Authority is useful to help us involve others in our creativity for goals which are larger than we ourselves could manifest alone. As you come to understand the roles and functions of power and authority in your life, my hope is that you will practice channeling all your creative energies through learning and developing the skills of love. Do this within the sphere of influence you already have, your present sphere. Your sphere of influence will then expand. As this wisdom is taught and retaught, we will see a wave of positive creative intention rise up in our lives and in the world. Gather strength and momentum as we unite with others who hold similar intentions and begin to manifest as we use our agency and autonomously act on those intentions. This action may include voting as a means of authorizing agents to create what we intend on our behalf. But let us remember that we are the intention holders, and authorizing an agent to act on our behalf means that we as intention holders must hold those agents accountable as well as clearly convey the goals we intend performed on our behalf. They become a staff for which we have supervisory responsibility, not a scapegoat for our failure to focus or communicate or direct our own creative energy. One reason political processes so often fail is we abdicate our role as creators when we authorize or vote for someone to act for us. If we do not hold and maintain an intention until it is made manifest, we are irresponsible to blame an agent we appointed and who was left without the clarity of our direction. Appointing an agent does not always mean we stop holding the intention or acting ourselves to see that that intention is realized. So let us not abdicate our responsibility or accountability, and then we shall see the mighty change of the world as it unfolds from the mighty changes within our own hearts. Unity, freedom, and synergy will increase. us, as well as the respect for our own autonomy and the power and autonomy of others. We will resolve the macro problems of our day by working from the seemingly micro internal solutions within our own intentions of our hearts, by aligning with the many forms of expression of love. This is the vision I share with you, that from collective individual intentions, aligning with the mighty skills of love, we can transform every sorrow of our personal lives and society and world into healing, peace, unity, and joy. This is the legacy and world I want my children and children's children to inherit. This is my intention. Please join with me and take up your power and focus on taking the actions of love with me individually and collectively, and let us persistently learn together and usher in this world. I welcome your questions and comments and encourage you to keep asking into the question and ask me and others what will serve your healing and unfolding potential best in this process. Thank you for your time.
This day does not belong to one man, but to all. Let us together rebuild this world, that we may share in the days of peace. Autonomy. My friends, you bow to no one.